Hello, I'm Kay and welcome to this, which is the first of my how to help videos. This one being for lower back pain. So we're going to have a look at some of the most common causes of lower back pain and explore some self-help measures that we can utilise to help both relieve the pain and guard against further problems. Now later you will need a scarf or a rolled up towel. So you might want to pause the video now and go and grab one. Okay. With your feet hip width apart, just start to gently circle, sort of gently and slowly circle the pelvis round. Now when it goes back, you stick the tail out, come to the side and then to the front, tuck the tail under. Keep those going. Try not to get any faster. Now, one of the worst things that we can do to our spines is to sit down for long periods of time. Because what happens there, if you think about the forces that are occurring, the end of your spine, your tail, is on the chair seat or whatever it is you're sitting on, but at the same time, you've got that downward pressure from gravity. Now that effectively squashes your discs and shortens the muscles around your spine. Right, let's just pause and take that circle round the other way and keep going. So if we stand up from sitting though, immediately we've released a vast amount of compressive pressure. And if we stand up and then do some mobilisation, which is what we're doing now, and then add in some stretches, which is what we're going to do in a moment, we can make such a positive difference to our spines. We can elongate the spinal column and elongate the spinal musculature. So, take your feet a little wider than hips now. Make sure you've got a good bend at the knees and pop your hands on your thighs. Important that you support this position. The moment I take my hands off my thighs, my spine is taking the workload, so support it. And we're going to have some spine arches. So we're going to take a breath in and then exhale. Tuck the chin one end, gently arch through the spine, tuck the tail the other end. And then a little release without lifting your head up high. And we keep going gently, gently arching. Keep going. Now, if you feel any pain, stop. Now, try and arch more than you have been. Gradually increase the size of your arch. And release. So we're exhaling, arching, tuck your tail, tuck your chin, and release. Now one more. Stay in your arch, your chin is tucked, and breathe. We hold position, not the breath. Tail tucked, chin tucked. Whole spine rounded in between. Now to come up, tuck your tail, walk your hands up your thighs and gradually restack your spine. Coming up nice and tall. Pop your feet back to hip width. Now we're going to elongate the spine in the vertical position. So little tail tuck, breathe in. Now exhale and think of gaining some height. Breathe. Now rather than just thinking of lifting up through the arms and shoulders, focus on lengthening through your spine. So can you gain any more height by pulling up out of your hips? through your lower back, mid-back, upper back, neck, crown of head. So that spine is as tall as you can be. And that's when it's under the least pressure. Breathe. And float your arms down. Now bring your feet to a little pedal. So it's just a gentle movement. Now another cause of lower backache can be if your hip flexor muscles, these are the muscles that run from your pelvis and attach to your thighs, if they get very, very tight, they shorten. Keep pedaling. They shorten, and if you can imagine, when they shorten, they're going to pull the pelvis forward. So we end up with this sort of sticky out bottom position. I'm going to really exaggerate it so that you get the idea. And what happens then is this lumbar curve in our spine becomes excessive, and that is not good for the spine. So what we're going to do next is work on stretching these hip flexor muscles so that we can pull up tall. If they're really, really tight, you'll only be able to pull up so tall because they need work to be able to lengthen. So take one foot to the back. So on the ball of the foot, wiggle it further away. Now you're lengthening at the back knee. If your heel goes down to the floor, that leg is not far enough back. Check your front knee is over the ankle. Now you may want to stay here. That may be enough for you if you can feel a stretch across the front of your hip and slightly into the groin area. If you can't feel the stretch, then pull yourself up taller. Do hold a wall or a chair if you need to, because this isn't about balance, this is about stretching. So it doesn't matter if you need to hold on. So tall, and then you can further increase the stretch by tucking your tail under. If you've lost the stretch, think of lengthening out again at that back knee. Stay there and breathe. Keep tucking. If you can't feel it, you might need to take that back foot further back. And release. And we're going to swap over, do exactly the same for the other leg. Do hold the chair or the wall. Wiggle that back foot. Back, 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 back. Front knee over the ankle. If you can feel the stretch across the front of the thigh, not this thigh, the other thigh, you may want to stay there. To increase the stretch, bring yourself taller. To increase it further, tuck the tail under. And if you still can't feel it, back foot further away, lengthening at that back knee again. Hold still and breathe. Nearly there. Doesn't work if we don't hold them long enough. I'll explain a bit more on that in a moment. And release. Come back to hip width and your gentle pedal. So when we're stretching our muscles, if we don't hold them long enough, and a post-workout stretch, it's generally recommended about 30 seconds. If we don't hold them that long, the muscles don't get time to lengthen. I like to liken the muscle unit to a banana, and the actual banana inside the skin is the muscle, and then that banana skin is the collagen or the outer casing of our muscles. Now if we were to try and make that banana longer without peeling the skin back, it's not going to work. So we have to hold the stretches long enough for that collagen to creep back first, only once that's creeped back can the muscle fibres within then fully lengthen. So please be patient. You know, just sort of doing this at a tuck and changing over is not going to make any long-term beneficial effects. Right, we've said, or I've said, about the muscles at the front of the hip becoming short, distorting the posture this way. But another thing that happens, and this is a really, really common one to cause lower backache, is that the muscles at the back of the leg that cross the hip joint, they get tight, i.e. your hamstring muscles. Now, if they get tight, they have the opposite effect to the muscles at the front. They will pull your pelvis so far this way, the bottom part of your pelvis moving this way, that actually serves to flatten out your lumbar curve. And that's not good either. We should have a natural curve in that position. It's all to do with distributing forces and body weight. So now to stretch the hamstrings and across the back of the hip, I'm going to go onto the floor. If you don't like going down onto the floor, by all means lie on your sofa or do it on your bed another time. So we need to get down. Have your scarf handy. Bring one leg in and hold around the thigh, not across the knee. The other leg is bent foot on the floor. Now just ease that leg in using your hands as opposed to using your leg. Hands gently draw it in. So see if you can go a little bit further with using the hands. And once you feel you're in as far as you can go without causing pain, stay there and think about relaxing that leg. It's your hands that should be doing the job of keeping the leg in place. Breathe slowly. Now see if you can hug it in any closer. Hold still and breathe again. Now grab your towel or scarf and you're going to loop that around the sole of your foot. Now take a breath in. As you exhale, lengthen the leg up to the ceiling. Now we are trying to lengthen at the knee. You should feel a stretch behind the back of the knee and the back of the thigh. But again, it needs that mental focus to think of relaxing your leg. Let the arms and the towel or scarf do the job of keeping the leg in place. If your leg really starts to wibble wobble and shake, you've taken it too far, so you might need to ease off a little. And then if that happens, you hold it there for a good 20 seconds before you're going to increase it and hold for the 30. So wherever you are at the moment, try taking another breath in. As you exhale, keep the length at the knee and see if you can draw that leg any closer. The knee is lengthened. Stay there. We're not here. Length. Breathe. Conscious effort to switch the leg off. And release. You can either use your towel, scarf or your hands. First of all, it's just the knee hugging in, other leg, hug in. Switch the leg itself off. breathe slowly. Can you hug it any closer? Remember to move using the arms. The arms move the leg, not the leg itself. Breathe. Now grab your scarf or towel, loop it round the foot. Deep breath in. Slow exhale as you elongate into your stretch. Now bring your attention again to trying to relax that leg. Your arms are active, keeping it in place with the help of your scarf. If you can't feel a little stretch behind the knee and the back of the thigh, then you may need to lengthen out at the knee more if you're not yet lengthened. Alternatively, if you're already lengthened at the knee, then take another breath in, exhale and draw that leg closer. Hold still. But we need to be careful here when we draw it closer that we don't lose the technique and end up in here with a bent knee. We can all get a bent knee in, but we can't when it's lengthened. So breathe slowly. And the longer you hold, that feeling of stretch should start to subside. As long as you haven't taken it too far and got the wibble wobble shakes. It really does help to breathe slowly. And release. Nearly there, very, very nearly there. Bring your thighs in, hold around the thighs, not across the knees. And just draw a circle with your pelvis. It's a slow circle. So you can really focus on making a full circle. Reverse the direction. And release. Well done. Okay, so things to take away from this are don't sit down for too long. And don't make the mistake of thinking that because you've got a back problem, it's your back that caused the problem. So often the effect on the back is secondary to what's causing the problem. So effectively, if your problem was tight hamstrings, just by doing those hamstring stretches with the towel around your foot can make a massive difference to the comfort for your lower back. But one thing I will absolutely insist on saying is the worst thing you can do for your back when you want to stretch the hamstrings is to bend down and touch your toes. I can do it, but I'm not going to, because the compressive shear forces that puts on your lumbar vertebrae is, well, it's enormous, so you don't want to go there. So if you need to stretch the hamstrings, do it in a safe and effective position, which is lying down so that your back is supported by the floor. Hope you got something out of that, and I'll see you soon.